I was wondering where the people go after they die. I was also wondering where people came before they were born. I don't know what is the meaning of existence of our life. I am Guo Xing, and I am a Buddhist nun in Dharma Drum Mountain, and I'm also an assistant professor at the Dharma Drum Institute of Liberal Arts. I became interested in Buddhism because since I was a child, I began to search for the meaning of life. My father passed away when I was only maybe 9 years old. Before he passed away, and I dreamed he would pass away. So I was kind of very afraid of his death because he would disappear. But at that time, I didn't know what is the death because my father got cancer, and 3 months later, and he passed away. And after he died, I always kept wondering what is the meaning of our life. I also read a lot of philosophy books, but I could not find an answer. And later, my mother also passed away very suddenly. And my mother slept and did not wake up, and she just passed away. And I remember when my mother passed away, and every day I pray for her, and I asked, what is the meaning of my life? And at that time, I studied at graduate school, and I told my mother I didn't want to continue my study. And one day I dreamed my mother left a message, and she wrote, you have to finish your study, and you have to have a meaningful life, and not like me. My life is very ordinary. So I start to think, what is the significant, or what is the meaningful life? Before my mother passed away, I thought I would get married and have children, and I will always with my family. But when my mother passed away, I realized there is no one can accompany you for all your entire life. And I realized something is impermanent. There is nothing you can catch forever. Later on, I had the opportunity to learn Buddhism, and I know what is impermanent. And also, Buddhism teaching taught me how to think in a positive life. And I realized maybe this kind of suffering on my parents' death is kind of gave me my lesson to learn what is impermanent. In Buddhism, we always emphasize we can have this kind of a body form. It's very rare. So we have to approach this body because we can use the body to do many things to benefit yourself and others. And we can use this body to learn Buddha's teaching. So in Buddhism, we always emphasize we have to appreciate we have a human form, we have a body. After death, we believe there is a rebirth, where people they were reborn. First, it depends on their karma. If one's karma is very strong, maybe he just direct go to hell. Second is depend on his habit. Like if we have a very strong desire to eat something, maybe go to hungry ghost. It's depend on your habit. And the third is depend on your thought. Like people, they have a right thought. They want to give birth to impure land. And they keep their mind and their thought in a right thought. Yeah, and so this is follow your thought. The fourth is to depend on your vow. Like people, they vow they want to reborn in Pure Land, or people they want to be reborn in this world to help others. Killing is a precept, right? And because no killing precept refer not only to kill others, including kill yourself. If something you cannot resolve, or some habit, or you cannot transform, you will bring this karma to your next life. So the next life you still have this kind of thing. The best way is you have to face the difficulty you have, and you have to accept it, and that you have to deal with it. My teacher is 面对它、接受它、处理它、放下它。Whatever you encounter, you have to face. You cannot escape, and you have to accept this whatever you encounter. You have to deal with whatever you encounter. If you cannot deal with it, just put it down. Later, maybe you find a way to resolve the problem or something. In modern times, people, they always keep their mind very busy, and they search for something outside, and they kind of never satisfies what they have. So they always look for something outside and external object. And also because nowadays the technology is very progressive, so we have like many things attract our mind. But this kind of feeling cannot bring people happiness. But I think Buddhism is to teach us to search something inside from yourself, but not outside, and to look for your inner peace. This is the most fundamental element that can make you feel happy. So I think because the Buddhism is a teaching to teach people to look for something inside instead of outside. I think maybe sometimes we have to look other people. Yeah, because when I watch BBC or New York Times, and I can gather information from the people who now are suffering, and I think and look at myself, I have many things they don't have. If we don't recognize or cherish what we have, we will keep our mind to kind of annoying, because our desire is so strong. Yeah, so I think to recognize or cherish what we have can lessen our desire, because desire also make people unhappy. I think for me, the key to happiness is to look for the inner peace, and to be satisfied what I have, or to cherish what I have. And I also think happiness is to know what I am. Like I know my shortage, and I know what is my strength, and I know what I am lack of. I want to improve into or correct my not good habit to cultivate my strengths. I think it's kind of to be confident yourself, to think things in a positive way. I think is very important.